What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report and welcome back to a brand new preview of a Miami Heat game, this time against the Philadelphia 76ers, who are currently the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. So big game for the Heat tonight. I'm here to tell you guys the injury report, what it's going to take to win, the keys to the game, all of that good stuff. Make sure you guys stay tuned and just enjoy the show. So we're going to start off with, the injury report as we always do. Before we even get into it, though, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what your confidence levels are going into this game. Made a double upload last night, so make sure you guys go check out those two videos. The first video was talking about the Heat clinching the playoffs, and the second video, which wasn't really planned, was reacting to the Victor Oladipo injury news because he's out for the season. So make sure you guys go check those out. Show some love on the channel, man. You guys are the best as always. Let's get into the video, though. So the injury report for the Miami Heat is very simple. Obviously, Victor Oladipo is out for the season, so he's not going to be on any other injury reports because it's assumed that he's out for the season. But the only one currently on the roster, not named Victor Oladipo, who's on the injury report, is Jimmy Butler, who is questionable with his eye injury. Hopefully, he does play, though, because it's going to be really crucial for him to play. He did not play against Philly in the first two games as well. I really do want to see Jimmy Butler play because I want to see how our team at full strength would do against the Philadelphia 76ers team. Not saying the regular season is like a big indication of all this, but obviously the regular season, it can tell you a few things. Like last year, we kind of had the Bucks number in the regular season, and it translates to the playoffs. But some other times, a team can have a team can convincingly beat another team in the regular season, but in the playoffs, adjustments are made. So it can go both ways, but I just wanted to see how our team at full strength would do against the Sixers team, who I don't even think could be at full strength because it says that Joel Embiid and Matisse Thybulle are questionable, which are big losses for them. Matisse Thybulle is a very good defender. I think he's top 5 on the Defensive Player of the Year ladder right now. He's 5th. Joel Embiid is obviously their best player. He's an MVP candidate. If he's out, and I saw a couple things floating around that he's not even in Miami with an illness. He has an illness which is non-COVID related. I'm not sure how true that is, but the person I saw it from is actually like verified, credible. He's a good source, but I don't know. He's the only one that I've seen say it, so I don't know if it's true or not. So do not hold me to that. Just assume that he's questionable, and then in tonight's game, you'll see if he's playing or not. I have no other inside information besides what I've been seeing. Matisse Thybulle is also questionable with the left hand swelling. I don't think he's gonna play if it's swelling on his left hand. Furkan Korkmaz and Shake Milton are probable, which means they're probably gonna play tonight. Shake Milton had right knee soreness, which funnily was the same injury as Victor Oladipo. It was probably not as severe. But he's a big piece for them off the bench. And Furkan Korkmaz is another shooter that can get hot if we allow him to. Apart from Jimmy Butler, though, no other injuries for the Heat, which is really good news. Bam will be playing for the first time against Philly. Against Philly, we really I think the main, there's two ways to approach this game. You can either say, let Ben Simmons beat us. That's the first way you can approach this, and the second way you can approach this is, take away, Ben Simmons's scoring ability, and let his shooters, like the people he passes to, let them beat us. Because Ben Simmons is, I know Joel Embiid is their best player, but Ben Simmons is the guy that's leading them. Not leading them, but like he's their ball handler. He's the guy who brings the ball up. He makes the plays. Ben Simmons is their he's kind of like the mini version of LeBron, except he's nowhere near as good. He's kind of their initiator. Joel Embiid will do his 1-2 in the post. He'll space the floor if he wants to. We have to let Joel Embiid. This is gonna be interesting for Bam. I would say Joel Embiid, let him shoot the 3 as much as possible. I don't trust his 3 ball as much as I trust him inside. He has the height advantage over Bam. So if he posts up Bam, I know Bam is strong, but Joel Embiid can shoot right over him, especially in that mid-post area. He's very good with that mid-range jumper. I would say let Joel Embiid try to take as many 3s as possible. But Ben Simmons should be the guy that we're, trying to he should be that Giannis that we're trying to build a wall around. Same way that we, stopped Giannis in the playoffs. I think the same approach should go to Ben Simmons. The only problem is that I think the Sixers are a much better team around Ben Simmons than the Bucks are around Giannis. Especially, I mean, for last year, I don't know how the Bucks this year added guys like Jrue Holiday, but the Sixers have Joel Embiid and they have Tobias Harris who can still kill you outside. But for Ben Simmons, if you form that wall around him, he's a very good passer, but we'll put some pressure on him. We can give Ben Simmons different looks. We should aim for Ben Simmons to be taking most of their shots, because he's not a guy who's gonna shoot the ball. So I'd say let Ben Simmons beat us. He's a guy that doesn't really scare me as far as shooting the ball goes, obviously. And against the Celtics, we kind of did the same with Marcus Smart. We made Marcus Smart be the guy who shot probably their most amount of shots, which is good. That was playing right into our hands. So if we give Ben Simmons the room for him to shoot and for him to do whatever he wants to, I'm not mad if Ben Simmons takes most shots, because it limits guys like Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris and their shooters to get the touches if Ben Simmons is taking most of their shots. So the game plan for me would be let Ben Simmons beat us. If you look at their stats though, they're actually very bad in opponent 2-point percentage, which means that if a team is in the paint, they're most likely converting that. So we're gonna have to which is kind of surprising to me, because Joel Embiid is a very good defender. But I guess it's because the perimeter defense is even better, because they have Ben Simmons, Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, a great defender, Seth Curry. Seth Curry's not a great defender, but Matisse Thybulle, Ben Simmons, and Danny Green are great defenders. They're also bottom 10 in opponent 3-point percentage though, so they could give up open threes, and we're gonna have to capitalize. Duncan, Hero. I remember Hero had a really big game. I think he had his best game of the season against the Sixers. He had 34 points last time, so expect Hero to have a great game. But the Sixers are very good on the defensive end as far as steals and blocks go. They're second in steals and second in blocks. Not surprising when you have Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Joel Embiid out there. But they're also surprisingly bottom 5 in assists, which is surprising, like I said, because Ben Simmons is one of the best passers in the NBA. So they're all over the place as far as offense is concerned. Defensively, they're good at steals and blocks, but if a team gets into the paint, and if a team gets an open three, they're knocking it down. So yeah, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to produce some good looks against this team. It's gonna be easier to stop them without Joel Embiid if he doesn't play which is why I'd say let Ben Simmons beat us, because if Ben Simmons is taking most of their shots, I think we're in good shape. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, man. It's going to be a crucial game for us as far as the standings are concerned. The Hawks did win last night against the Wizards, which means they're a half game above us. The Knicks are currently below us with the same record. I'm actually not sure who the Knicks play, but I can pull that up right now. But while I do that, it was kind of disappointing that the Hawks lost, because they were winning. That the Hawks won because they were losing by 8 or something, or 13 or something in the fourth quarter, and the Wizards kind of blew it. The Hawks don't look like they're falling, man. We have to hope for the Knicks to fall. The Knicks are playing the Spurs today. Could be a tough game for them. Could be an easy game. The Spurs are a very tough team to gauge, because on some nights they can show up really, really well, and on some nights they can be, bad. So they play the Knicks, Hornets, and Celtics. The Spurs, Hornets, and Celtics. Not easy games by all means. The Celtics, I know we clown on the Celtics because they lost to like a lot of bad teams, but the Celtics are still a team that if Jason Tatum has that game, then this is all dependent on if he plays or not. But the Celtics could beat the Knicks, and we could be facing the Hawks in that 4-5 spot. So if we take care of business against the Sixers and the Bucks, we'll probably be the 5 seed. Because I'm very confident we'll beat the Pistons. Other things to watch out for on the Sixers though. Tyrese Maxey off the bench. Is a very, very he's a very good player, man. Tyrese Maxey is a very good rookie out of Kentucky. And then you have to watch for the shooters at all times. Ben Simmons, you can talk about letting him take the most shots, but if he's able to find a guy like a Danny Green or a Seth Curry in the corner, it's cash money, because they're elite shooters. I think the Sixers did an exceptional job of surrounding Ben Simmons with these shooters. They didn't have those. I remember the last time they had those was with Redick and Bellinelli and Ilyasova. I remember that team when we got bounced in 5, I think. So yeah, man. It's gonna be a tough game. You know, the Sixers without Joel Embiid, I don't think scare me as much, obviously, because he's a great player. But even down the stretch, they don't have that closer. That's the thing about the Sixers, which is why I don't think they're not going to win the championship, because down the stretch, who are you giving the ball to? Like, Tobias Harris is not that guy that I want, you know, being my closer. You know, he's an above average player, but Tobias Harris, if he's your closer, then I don't think you're in great shape. I think he's a great number 2 or number 3 guy, but as your main closer, which is why the Bucks and the Sixers, I think, are in the same boat, because Chris Middleton really is their closer, the Bucks closer, and Tobias Harris is the Sixers closer. Both similar players, but yeah, I don't know. I think down the stretch, though, we can hurt them, especially if Jimmy plays. If Jimmy doesn't play, there's going to be a totally different story. But if Jimmy plays, we'll have a great chance to win, especially if Embiid is out. So that's my preview for this game. Hopefully you guys, you know, enjoy this preview. I will probably be either double uploading today or uploading a video tomorrow, which is unrelated to, you know, any of these games. It's a different type of video, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, though. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below your score predictions, your confidence levels for this game. I'll see you guys later as always, man.